Welcome back to the Deep Dive AI Brief. This is our 350th session, and we're here to cut through the noise and give you what you need to stay current. I'm Amin.
And I'm Leah. Our mission today is pretty focused. We're going straight into the key shifts we're seeing this week in enterprise, hardware, and even the regulatory world.
We've got 5 major threads we need to pull on. First up is a huge new report from OpenAI that shows what AI is actually doing to productivity in the workplace.
Then we're pivoting to hardware. Google has just confirmed a major play for AI glasses coming in 2026.
We'll also break down Anthropic's really smart integration of Claude code right into Slack for developers.
And after that, we'll cover the other big moves in politics and business, and then run through the trending tools you should probably be looking at right now.
So let's just jump straight in. That OpenAI report. It's their first State of Enterprise AI, and the data source is massive.
It really is. They've pulled from over 1 million workplace accounts, and they also surveyed 100 different major enterprises.
And the basic metrics, they're pretty compelling, but also kind of what you'd expect, right?
Exactly. 75% of the workers they surveyed reported better output speed or, better quality.
Which confirms that whole optimization angle we've been talking about for a while. But there was another piece of data in there that I think it changes the whole conversation.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's the fact that 75% of those same workers also said they can now handle tasks they simply couldn't do before.
That's it. That's the huge distinction, isn't it? It's not just efficiency, it's augmentation.
It is. We're not just talking about doing the same job a bit faster. We're talking about unlocking completely new capabilities for individual workers. It's like building cross-functional productivity into a single role.
And for anyone managing a team, that statistic is just.
Yeah.
It means the whole idea of a fixed job description is starting to dissolve.
Well, yeah. The average ChatGPT business user is already saving, 40 to 60 minutes a day just on the simple stuff.
But the data also showed this growing and honestly pretty critical gap.
The power user gap, it's enormous.
Yeah.
The report showed the top 5% of users are getting back more than 10 hours a week.
An entire workday.
More than a full workday. And for the elite coders they measured, the productivity difference was, it was 17 times.
Wait, 17?
17 times.
It's not a gap. That's a chasm. It feels like it's creating 2 totally different classes of worker. How does the average person even begin to catch up to that?
Well, that's the strategic question, isn't it? The power users aren't just summarizing emails. They're using AI for strategic planning, for complex synthesis, for automating entire workflows.
Things they couldn't do before.
Exactly. So the challenge for companies isn't should we adopt AI anymore? It's how do we bridge this massive internal skills gap before it's too late?
That is a powerful takeaway. Okay, let's pivot from software to the hardware battlefield because Google is making a very significant move.
They really are. They've announced AR-powered smart glasses, and they've put a date on it, 2026.
This feels like they're finally getting serious about challenging Meta's lead in wearables.
Oh, for sure. And they seem to have learned from Google Glass. This time, they're leading with aesthetics and lifestyle. They're not doing it alone either.
Right, they've built a whole coalition. Samsung's involved. But the really interesting part is the fashion brands.
It is. They've got the Korean brand Gentle Monster and, of course, that huge $150 million deal they made with Warby Parker.
That's the signal, isn't it? It says, we're committed to making these look like glasses people actually want to be seen in.
Precisely. And they're planning 2 different styles. One is just audio-only frames, so a hands-free AI assistant without any screen at all.
And the second?
The second has a display with an in-lens screen for things like, real-time navigation or translation. Very practical use cases.
And the key technical choice here is how they're keeping them looking like normal glasses.
Yes, they're offloading all the heavy processing work to a connected smartphone. It's a smart move. It keeps the frames themselves light and, wearable.
Nobody wants a clunky computer on their face.
No. By doing this, they can leverage the power of the whole Gemini ecosystem and all the apps on your phone. It turns the glasses into just a simple interface. If they get the fashion right, this could be a huge deal.
Okay, for our third major update, let's go back to productivity, but this time for developers. Anthropic just did something really interesting with Claude Code and Slack.
This is a really transformative integration. It basically turns Claude from a chatbot you talk to into an actual embedded teammate.
How does it work in practice?
It's actually very elegant. A developer just tags at Claude in any Slack thread, and that kicks off a full Claude code session.
And the smart part is that it uses all the context from that thread, the bug reports, the feature request, all of it, as the input, right?
Exactly. You get to skip that whole annoying copy-paste step, but it goes deeper. Claude then automatically finds the right code repository from your authenticated accounts and starts working.
And it posts updates back to the same thread.
It does, in real time. So the team can see the progress. And then when it's done, it gives you the links to review the changes and open a pull request.
So the developer never has to break their flow. They stay in Slack the entire time.
That's the goal. It's about bringing the autonomous assistant directly into the communication hub where the work is already happening. It's a very, very smart play by Anthropic.
All right, let's pivot away from those major stories and look at some of the broader market and political maneuvers this week. We'll be moving at a slightly more measured rhythm for this segment as we cover everything else happening in AI today.
So on the policy front, there was a pretty major signal from the White House. The president announced a plan to sign an executive order.
And the goal seems to be establishing a single national set of rules for AI, right? To stop the states from all creating their own separate regulations.
That's the idea. The plan also includes an AI litigation task force, which sounds like it's designed to challenge existing state laws and really push for that unified federal standard.
And I imagine that's gotten some pushback.
Oh, yes. Pretty significant bipartisan pushback, actually. A lot of lawmakers feel that states should have the right to regulate new technologies on their own.
Now, in what feels like a major reversal, there was big news about NVIDIA in China.
A huge reversal. The U.S. president approved NVIDIA to sell its high-end H200 AI chips to China. But there's a catch.
Which is?
The approval was granted in exchange for 25% of the total sales revenue. It seems to be a strategic shift from blocking access entirely to allowing controlled access that comes with a major economic benefit.
Interesting. And for listeners who are trying to navigate all the AI-generated content online, there's a new tool.
Yes, it's a browser extension for Chrome and Firefox called Slop Evader. Its purpose is simple. It tries to let you search the pre-AI internet.
How does it do that?
It only returns web results that were published before November 30th, 2022.
The day ChatGPT was released to the public, the line in the sand.
That's the one.
Okay, shifting to some major enterprise moves now. OpenAI is pushing further into the consumer space.
It is. They announced a new shopping integration with Instacart, which is actually the first time an instant checkout option has been made available directly through ChatGPT. It's a move from just getting information to making a transaction.
And at the same time, IBM is making a massive infrastructure play.
A huge one. They're planning to acquire the data streaming company Confluent for $11 billion.
$11 billion.
The strategy is pretty clear. They want to help big companies connect their real-time data streams directly into their AI systems. They're building the essential plumbing for the next generation of enterprise AI.
And finally, on the model front, there are a couple of interesting notes.
Yes, a company called Essential AI released a model called RNJ1. And what's interesting is that it's a small open source model, only 8 billion parameters, but it's performing as well as much larger systems on coding benchmarks.
That trend continues then. Smaller, more efficient models punching way above their weight.
It does. And in some unrelated news, Google's VP of Global Ads, Dan Taylor, he came out and directly refuted that Adweek report that claimed ads were coming to Gemini. He confirmed there are no current plans to change that.
Good to have that clarification. That brings us to today's trending AI tools. We've got a quick run-through of the applications and systems that are making waves right now.
Starting with that model we just mentioned, RNJ1. For developers, this is a big deal. It gives you high performance on coding tasks without the massive server costs of a giant model.
Next, for anyone in the scientific community, there's Biomed Agent. This is a specialized tool from SciSpace that's built specifically for biomedical research.
Anthropic is on the list again with Claude Opus 4.5. This is their newest frontier model, and it's currently topping a lot of the important industry benchmarks.
If you're a creator, you should look at NOIZ. You can literally start with just a simple idea and use it to generate entire podcasts, audiobooks, dubbings, even videos.
For students or anyone who has to process a lot of information, there's Strader. It takes complex material like videos or PDFs and turns it into structured study guides.
There's also a really interesting tool called Focus Room. It's an ADHD-friendly focus app that gamifies your work. turning your tasks into things like guided space missions to help you stay engaged.
And finally, a more technical one called browser use. It's a utility that lets you turn pretty much any website into a reliable API with just a single prompt. For developers who scrape data, that could save a ton of time.
That concludes our deep dive. To just quickly recap the biggest stories, we're seeing a hard data from OpenAI that AI is creating a massive leap in worker capability.
At the same time, Google is launching a direct, fashion-first hardware challenge to Meta with its AI glasses for 2026.
And Anthropic is pushing the idea of the autonomous assistant even further by embedding it directly into the developer's core workflow in Slack.
The pace is it's not slowing down, it's accelerating. That 75% statistic that workers are now doing tasks they couldn't do before, that's a confirmation of a fundamental shift.
It really is. And it leaves us with a pretty profound question to think about. If AI is rapidly unlocking new capabilities in individual workers, are we about to see the end of stable, defined job descriptions as we know them?
We encourage you to follow us to stay informed, and please share this deep dive with anyone else you think needs this kind of briefing.
See you in the next episode.